Hi, my name is Kai. I'm sick. I make videos about my life, and recently I had a feeding tube placed, and I have a medical cart in desperate need of organizing and cleaning. So that's what we're doing today. This cart used to be the cart for all my port supplies, and I got rid of most of my port supplies when I stopped using my port, but I think there's still a few things in there, and I just haven't set it up super great to be set up for my feeding tube. The one thing is that I don't have any bags right now, like any feeding tube bag. I have my last one out and I'm getting more later. So we're just going to organize it without the bags, knowing that I'll have some more later. Yeah, let's get to organizing.
Let's first start off by cleaning the top of the cart off. All of the random clutter and things that have built up over there, like the dirty feeding tube pad in the wash bag and all the clean ones, look how cute they are, back in their container, and just all the other clutter that has ended up on top of this over the last few months, like a ticket to Chichen Itza from my trip to Mexico from months ago, and the bottle of sunscreen. Not entirely sure how that ended up here either.
I've had this sharp spin for a very, very long time, and it contains nothing but old migraine shots and a lot of port needles. So most of this is just used port needles. And considering I'm no longer doing any of my migraine meds or using my port at all, or like I'm not doing the injections, I think it's time that we can throw this out. I have another sharp spin in case I ever need it again. So there it is, sealed, and time to throw this one away. So that way we can clear off the top of this so I can actually use it again.
And now that the top of the cart is all clear, we're going to wipe it down and wipe off all of the grime that's on there and just kind of get all of the wires back in place behind it and make sure the whole thing looks nice and presentable. Also, if you guys hear any background noise from this voiceover, it's because our dog is sleeping on the ground next to me and he's too cute. I can't move him. I would feel too bad. We'll start putting everything back on top. That is a thrifted container for my Tubi pads, an empty candle jar from Yankee Candle for my Tubi clips, and an empty candle jar from my favorite candle company ever, Harlem Candle Co. And it is like the most stunning thing, and that's actually the glass I use for water or anything else that I syringe out and put in my tube. Now is the joy of emptying every single drawer and wiping down the inside and the outside, because somehow they were filthy. And this is actually the part of the video where I tell you guys that this was all just an elaborate excuse for me to do another sped up video and for me to just yap for like 10 minutes, because I love nothing more than to talk, and this is the single best excuse I have had for that. So welcome back to another sped up video where I yap about my life. In good news, I actually get my profile tube placed next week, and I honestly am so beyond excited. I keep having skin like yanked out from the inside of my flesh, and it is such a weird experience. So I have been assured that the profile tube should make that a lot better, and I am really looking forward to not having my skin, falling out from the inside of my body. In wildly different news, I recently got asked to do another piece on accessibility for Savannah magazine, which is the magazine that I actually was first published in, and I think I did one of their first pieces on accessible things in the hostess city, and they've done several more pieces since, and they've asked me back to do it again this year, and I am so excited. So let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing a little peek into my writing life as I publish this piece with Savannah magazine. I think I have like 2 or 3 weeks to write the whole thing, do all the photos, do like the whole beginning to end piece. So she really reached out to me and was just like, okay, we got 2 to 3 weeks, let's do a full thing. So that's crazy, but a lot of fun, and I'm so excited. Savannah magazine is like my favorite magazine I've ever published with. They're phenomenal. If you are in the South, I would highly recommend checking them out. It's a great magazine. Keeping in theme with writing, I am actually doing my author headshots later today. because something I have not announced yet on this channel is that I am getting a book published. I am so excited, and you guys will just have to subscribe and make sure you keep an eye on my channel to find out more about the story and all of the goodness that comes with it. But today we are going out. I'm just doing them myself because I have a minor in photography from school, and I have my own camera and everything, so we are just going out to a really pretty location and just doing the photos. So I'm really excited for that, and really terrified because this means that we are so much closer to this book actually being out in the world, and that's terrifying but exciting. Although don't worry, that one is definitely getting recorded and put on this channel, so you guys will very quickly want me to shut up about my book, actually. You may have thought that I was joking about using this video as an excuse to yap about my life, but I wasn't. I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this random update. And now we try and figure out how to put everything back into my drawers. I was really determined that this was finally going to be the time I threw away all my port supplies, but for whatever reason, whether I'm like emotionally attached or worried that I'm gonna use it again if I throw it away, I have kept some of it. It is all in one drawer, and then I have a bunch of port shower protectors that are just like gauze with or Tegaderm with gauze, so I'm keeping that as well, and those are kind of in 3 different drawers. And then this is me literally spending several minutes ripping off the little flaps of this box, only to discover that it didn't even fit, and I probably could have measured that by just closing it, but you know, brain cells, apparently I don't know who they are. So I'm just kind of filling up the drawers with all the little odds and ends that I have. Like this drawer has gauze and like alcohol swabs, and there's just things like my tape and syringes and all the other good stuff that I have collected over the years and or get new deliveries of regularly now. So I'm just gonna let you sit back and enjoy the rest of this organizing before I give you a little tour of how everything ended up looking. I'm just kidding. I have one more life update for you guys, and that is that we are going to Epic in a few weeks, and we are currently in the midst of our crafting and sewing chaos as we get ready for our costumes. We are doing one day as Harry Potter characters and one day as How to Train Your Dragon characters, and I finally get to be the main character, so I'm going to be Hiccup, and I can't wait. So stay tuned for some videos of me making those costumes and us going to Epic, because I am so excited. I haven't seen a single photo or video of the park yet, and somehow I've avoided it, so it'll be a complete surprise to me, everything that's in the park, and oh, I'm so excited. I love Universal, so. And there we go, we are done organizing it. It is clean, it is shiny, and everything is exactly where it needs to be. On the top, I have my tissues, I have my little container of 2B pads and my glass that I use for putting water or formula in there and, pulling it out of my syringe. In the top drawer, I have 2B tape, alcohol pads, and gauze pads, and I use all of this to help clean my tubing site. This is like my mismatched drawer, a pair of scissors, some band-aids, syringe, all of my medical tape. In this drawer, I keep old shower port cards and my arm cast shower protector, a mirror that I had for accessing my port, and some medication in there. This is syringes that don't fit my tube and more shower protectors. And this is the Forsaken port supplies drawer. I don't want to talk about it, it's fine. I'm skipping the empty drawers, but this one has 2B clips, all of my Pedialyte electrolyte powder that I put into my, when I make water, I just put that in there to run through my tube, and some syringes. I've been using the Boost Plus to run through my tube, and I kind of love it, so that's where I keep all of that. Old port gloves that I actually use to dye my hair, and just a plastic container, and this is where the bags will go when I have more of them. And yeah, that is my tube cart organization.
I totally forgot to film an outro, so ignore the fact that my hair color is different and I am wearing no makeup, but I am so glad that this is totally done. Just for reference, the tickets from Nitsa that were on top of this, I went to Mexico before I had my feeding tube placed. That's how long it's been since I've done an actual clean of this thing. So this was much needed, and already I am absolutely in love with how it's working, and it's been so much better than whatever the heck was happening before, and not having the bright red sharps container is making my life so much better. Obviously I like my blue towels, my blue Kleenex blocks. The red, it wasn't working, so here's to happier and more organized feeding tube cart days. Let me know what you do for your feeding tube supplies down below, or if you have any tips or tricks for organizing everything. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. Much love.